My name is Crank.SNES, and rather than doing something stupid and foolish, today we're actually going to be doing something useful, and I'm going to show you how to repair a Virtual Boy. Now, as you may or may not know, the Virtual Boy was Nintendo's first attempt at making 3D virtual reality video games, and as you also may or may not know, these things were not very well received. They caused eye strain, it wasn't very comfortable to use in the first place, and the games on there are almost all trash with one or two exceptions. And beyond that, the actual viewing device is, for a majority of people, completely busted. If you look here, you can look how there's two individual screens here, and for most Virtual Boys, one of these two screens has not worked in a long time. For me, it's the left screen that is no longer working. The right screen is still working, but the left one has gone a while ago. As you can see from looking in here, you're not getting any feedback on that left screen, while for the right screen, you can still see inside there. Now, the reason for this is quite simple. There's a ribbon cable that connects from the internal architecture of the Virtual Boy to the screen. While the ribbon cable itself is fine, the glue that holds the ribbon cable to the circuit boards has come undone for a majority of the Virtual Boys. So today, we're going to be taking apart the Virtual Boy, getting to that ribbon cable, and actually fixing the glue. To do that, it's quite simple. All you need is a Virtual Boy and then three very specific pieces. First, you need a very small screwdriver. The length is not very important, but the actual end of it needs to be pretty small. I'm not exactly sure how small, but pretty small. Then you need a very specific security bit. People that have done repairs and have used old Nintendo products will probably know that Nintendo used very specific and very special security bits to keep kids from going inside and opening up the games and the game consoles and messing with them. Specifically, you're going to be needing a 4.5 millimeter security bit. Just look up Nintendo security bit. This one's made by Silver Hill, and also it needs to be quite long to get inside the Virtual Boy. It needs to be at least 2 inches long, and there's 12 screws you need to take apart with this, so that's very important. And for the third piece, you're going to need something that can make heat. For me, I'm using my mom's hairdryer, but if you look on YouTube, you can find videos that talk about people using ovens or stoves or heat guns, anything really that can apply a large amount of heat for a short amount of time. Now, first off, you're going to need to locate all 12 screws on your Virtual Boy. Now, the 12 of them are on the bottom left, in the middle top, right middle, right bottom, bottom middle, and then on the top you have an additional 6 that connects the game to the console. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So let's take all 12 of these out. First, remove the game. This is Mario Tennis, probably the game that you own. And now let's get removing these screws. I will take out one of them, and then you can use your imagination to guess what happened to the other 11. So this one I've already started, so let's just remove that with the special security bit. These are very deep in there, so kids couldn't get into the Virtual Boys. But it also is a problem because you need to take it apart very often to actually fix the screen. This is what the screw looks like. It is very small and very special. Luckily, all 12 of the screws are the exact same, so there's no point in keeping track of them. As long as you have all 12 screws, you should be great. So I'm going to take apart the other ones, and I'll be back once I get all of them taken apart. I've now removed all 12 of the screws. Now you can just simply remove this and get to the juicy innards of your Virtual Boy. As you can see, you have the main circuit board right here, and we don't need to remove any of that. All you need to do is remove your ribbon cable. Now, this will be your right view screen, and this will be your left view screen, so make sure you take out the correct one. For me, it's the left one, and I'm not even going to bother to touch the right one because that one's still working perfectly fine. Maybe in the future I'll need to repair it. For now, I only need to repair the left one. Now, to remove this is actually quite simple. First off, take out your speaker. This is very simple to remove. You just grab it. Now you have to remove the ribbon cable and then remove it from where it's attached to at the bottom. The bottom is attached with screws. At the top, however, it is not. You can simply grab this and very gently pull it out. So that's free now. So now you just need to remove with your screws. Your screws are located there, and it's very 2 small Phillips type screws you need to remove. Now that you have the ribbon cable removed, you can see where the problem lies. The problem for the Virtual Boy is exactly here. The glue that attaches from the ribbon cable to your circuit board is very loose, and therefore it's not making a full connection, so the Virtual Boy can't receive data from your circuit to your screen. So therefore we need to do something to reapply the glue. To do that specifically, you need to apply heat to this area right here that will reignite the glue. Then you can push it down and get it all nice and firm so you can actually get a picture going through your ribbon cable. So with that, we're going to need to use the hair dryer, but again, you can use anything you really want to apply heat. Just make sure it's a very high amount of heat for a short amount of time and try to focus it all in this area. I have placed the circuit board on a little cooking sheet, and now I have my mom's hair dryer here. Again, shout to her. So now we're going to heat up that part as close as we can. Now for me, I'm going to be using the high setting of heat, but the low setting of fan. So it's going to be putting out a very high amount of heat, but it's not going to be blowing out too fast. So let's do that. First off, I have a cooking glove for safety, and let's get started. And once you're done heating up, you need to then apply pressure to the point of contact between the glue and the circuit board. You could use your finger if you're adventurous, or for me, I'm going to use the screwdriver that I used earlier to make sure it's level. Again, you want to heat this up to a point where the glue comes loose, but at the same time, you're not damaging the circuit board or damaging the ribbon cable. I approximately lasted however long. I will put it on the video. And just nice and firm. Make sure it's nice and smooth and the glue is well applied. Because the last thing we need to do is put this all back together and then for the glue to become loose again. Now once you think it's all nice and firm and reapplied, we can now put this back into the Virtual Boy. To put the ribbon cable back into the Virtual Boy, you're going to do exactly what you did to remove it, but do it in reverse. So first off, take your ribbon cable and very nice and slowly put it back into the circuit. It just slides in there very smoothly and very gently. There we go. Now you'll need to attach the underside with the screws. Now once you have both of the screws attached, now what you need to do is put in the game, and now you're going to actually test it out to make sure it's working. Because if it's not working, you're going to need to apply more heat and see if it's going correctly. So plug in controller, press this, turn on the console, now look into the view screens. Now for me, it appears that both screens are working. So let's see if I can get a view of this. See, I had both of them now. So now that we know that both screens are working, we can actually put this console back together. So turn off the system, unplug the controller, disconnect the game, and start putting everything back together. Now that I've put it back together, let's have one more check to make sure it's completely working. So power on the console through the controller, and this is the side that was already working. And now let's go to the other side, and there we go! Now the console is 100% working condition. Now if you want to, you can sell this if you bought it old broken one on eBay that they didn't realize it was that simple to fix the screen, or you can try to enjoy, in air quotes, a Virtual Boy. So I hope this helped you, and if not, there are tons of videos on YouTube that describe exactly how to fix your Virtual Boy, and thank you for watching.